Here's today's In Touch devotion.
Today's scripture reading begins in verse 15 of Genesis chapter 50. When Joseph's brothers had seen that their father was dead, they said, "What if Joseph holds a grudge against us and pays us back in full for all the wrong which we did to him?" So they sent instructions to Joseph, saying, "Your father commanded us before he died, saying, 'This is what you shall say to Joseph. Please forgive, I beg you, the offense of your brothers and their sin, for they did you wrong. And now, please forgive the offense of the servants of the God of your father.' And Joseph wept when they spoke to him. Then his brothers also came and fell down before him and said, 'Behold, we are your servants.' But Joseph said to them, 'Do not be afraid, for am I in God's place? As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring about this present result, to keep many people alive. So therefore, do not be afraid. I will provide for you and your little ones.' So he comforted them and spoke kindly to them."
As those of us who are believers grow in our faith, we move from the milk of elementary truths to the meatier issues of Scripture that challenge our heart and our thinking. One of those deeper concepts is the question of whether God is involved in every circumstance. Spiritually, it gives us a lot to chew on because the answer goes against our natural reasoning. For example, Joseph was treated cruelly by his brothers, suffering enslavement and imprisonment in Egypt because of their hatred. We tend to wonder, how could a good God have been involved in that painful circumstance? Yet he worked it all for good, eventually moving Joseph to a position of power as Pharaoh's right-hand man. When we ponder Scripture's deeper teachings, it's important to start with the truths about the Lord's character, power, and promises. These form a foundation that can help us understand His role in both the triumphs and tragedies of life. Although we can't always grasp what God is doing in our circumstances, we can rely on His promise to work all things together for good to those who belong to Him, as we see in the 8th chapter of Romans. It's important to remember that nothing touches us without passing through His loving, sovereign hands.